We're back here at Cabana Bay. Walk into our room real quick. We're rushing a little bit because we are a little bit late for our dinner reservation over at BigFire. Our lift was there was some issues getting picked up at the outlets. It took them a little while to get to where we needed to be. So we were rushing to the room just to drop off the stuff that we got at the outlets. Then we're going to run downstairs, jump on the bus over to CityWalk, and hopefully the reservation's still good to go. I think it will be, but if not, we'll find something. We'll make a plan B. So here we are. We are headed into BigFire American Fare. Like I said, a little late, but doing okay. CityWalk at night is just absolutely amazing with the lights and everything. Big fan. Here we are down at the waterfront here of CityWalk while we're waiting for our table. Just showing you some of what you can see. Islands of Adventure is over here. There's the lighthouse. And then the Toothsome Chocolate Emporium. Hard Rock Cafe, of course, everybody knows about Hard Rock Cafe. And then there is Universal Studios. You can see the famous globe out there in front. It's really cool because if you're staying at one of the premium or premier hotels, there are boats that run for transportation along here that you can take a water taxi from your hotel to a dock here at CityWalk to get to the parks and everything. We can't do that. We are staying at Cabana Bay, which is a prime value, so we don't get to use the water taxis unless we went to another resort, which doesn't quite seem worth it. But it's a nice option if you are at one of those resorts. But like I said, at Cabana Bay and the Endless Summer resorts, you don't get that. Don't get that perk. You just get the bus transportations, and there is a walking path that'll bring you right in by the Margaritaville over here into CityWalk. We made it. We are here at our table at BigFire American Fare. Just got seated. Haven't put in our drinks or anything yet, waiting on that. Just kind of hanging out. But I love the look of this restaurant. It's super cool. The food looks super good. We'll of course show you everything coming up when we receive it. But I'm just going to show you the restaurant really quickly so you can get an idea of what the look of it. So here's Joelby sitting across. We're in a booth. We are up on the second level of the restaurant here. You can see this is super cool with the boat kind of thing going there, the oars on the wall. It's kind of got like a lake lodge feel to it. You can see the tables down there, and then over this way was the fire. You can see they are doing somewhat of a social distancing type thing. I don't know how well you can see it, but this is plexiglass right here in between the booths to keep everybody nice and separated from each other. So that's a nice touch, and also they're not giving out menus. They're doing a QR code on the table on a little card that takes you right to the menu on Universal's website. Also, I'm aware that this is a hotly debated topic right now, but the straws are paper straws. So if that is somehow sinful to you, keep that in mind. Maybe don't use it. Maybe bring your own, get a metal straw, silicone straw, something. Or, yeah, we got a real futuristic idea. Skip the straw, drink a cup, save the paper. I mean, really, it's the best option. I know that weirds some people out too. They can't drink out of things they didn't wash or whatever, but keep that in mind. Paper straws here at BigFire. This tea is really good though. I'm a fan. And they bring you water just by default. We didn't ask for that, but they brought 2 cups that were full, and they gave us this bottle for refilling it, which I really appreciate the water. And our appetizers have arrived. Here we have the, what was it, brook trout, stone trout? Brook trout dip with some just crackers over here. And then this is the artichoke wood oven dip, I think they called it. It's artichokes and cheese, spinach, kale, different things like that, with some like crusty bread here on the side. Both of them look and smell pretty good. This one smells fishy, of course, and then that one smells like what it is. So we will give these a try and let you know how they taste.
All right, I'm gonna try the trout dip first. It's a cold dip, which I kind of expected because I've had something like this before, but we'll see here. It's got a pretty good smoke to it. It's got like a tanginess on the back end of it, which is a little unexpected, but I think it's good.
What's that one?
This is the oven roasted artichoke dip. This one said that it had kale in it, which I think you can kind of taste there. It's not like your normal like artichoke dip, like
Applebee's.
right. You'd get it just like a chain restaurant, which is kind of what I always expect because it's good. But this is a good sort of different,
A little more upscale.
yeah, classier a little bit, you know. Yeah, it's good though.
I'm gonna start with the trout dip. I've never had something really like this. I've never really had like a fish dip. So I really don't know what to expect here. So this should be a little interesting, to say the least. Especially cold. Cold dip, I'm with cold meat dip. Not really a thing. But yeah. Okay, there is a lot of smoke there.
Yeah.
A lot of it. Almost to the point where it tastes artificial.
Yeah.
So I think they could cut back on that a little bit. I mean, if it's not artificial, then it's just how it tastes. But I just don't think that it's actually that smoky. So I think that's something that they could work on. The other flavors are really kind of solid. I'm a fan otherwise. But yeah, I think the smoke is a little heavy. So now we're going to jump over and try the artichoke kale oven, whatever they called it, dip. I prefer that much more to the trout dip. That is much more the flavor profile that I lean towards. The trout was still good, but the artichoke dip, very good. I think Joel said it. It's not your standard artichoke dip from, Applebee's or something like that. It's reminiscent of it. You can see that it's similar. Some of the same same basis there on the dip, but it definitely has like a little more upscale flavor to it. And the bread that's with it is actually really nice crusted bread. I haven't.
It's so funny.
Joel said there's a kid watching behind me. That's kind of funny. Joel likes Applebee's spinach dip better than this. And I do have to say, if you're going to get an artichoke dip for like the classic artichoke dip flavor, that is what you're looking for, is Applebee's. There's nothing wrong with that. That might be my favorite thing on the Applebee's menu, to be honest. It's classic. You go during half-price apps, you get the half-price artichoke dip. You are set. That is a nice Monday night or something like not a Saturday or Friday, not your good nights, one of your mediocre nights of the week.
If your plans got canceled, go to Applebee's.
Yeah, go to Applebee's, get a nice booth to yourself in the corner. It's great. Real quick, just wanted to mention something that's really notable to me. We're still waiting on our entrees, but the waiter just brought me another drink, and with it, he brought another straw. And I've never had that happen anywhere that uses paper straws. They always make me reuse the same one, and they get so soggy and they start to break down, and it's just not a good time. So that was just like the most profoundly amazing thing, just like the highlight, that he brought another paper straw that I don't have to deal with that. So I went with the New York strip steak, cooked medium. That's the way I prefer it. Then we have some crispy smashed potatoes underneath, and some mac and cheese over here. Joel got the, cowboy ribeye? Cowboy ribeye. Also the smashed potatoes and some asparagus. We're definitely going to get a copyright strike on this music in here.
Blue Suede ain't around anymore, so nobody should really be worried.
Somebody owns the rights. Probably Universal Music Group, actually.
No doubt.
That would be ironic. Anyway,
All right.
what do you think?
The steak is very good. It's real tender. You can taste a lot of that smoke. It's very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The seasoning on it's real good too. I'm gonna try the what are these?
Crispy smashed
Crispy
potatoes.
smashed potatoes. They get a nice salt flavor to them. Not too seasoned, but it's good. You get the actual potato flavor in there. And then my other side was some asparagus. That's good. Just grilled asparagus, really. I mean,
Not much to say about
yeah,
it.
you can never go wrong. All in all, pretty good.
All right. Next up is my turn. We'll start with the steak here. This is the New York strip steak, cooked medium. Color looks pretty good on it. You can see it. I will say it's not the most tender New York strip I've ever had. I've had some really good New York strip. That's my favorite cut of steak for flavor. Filet for tenderness, of course. It's always going to be like next level. But for flavor, I love a New York strip. And this tastes good, but like I said, it's a little tough from what I'm used to from different steakhouses. Now I get, this is theme park food. This isn't a fine dining establishment.
When you think about it that way, it's
Per
real
se.
impressive.
Yeah, that's kind of the dynamic you have to consider when it comes to theme parks the way they are now, especially like a Disney or a Universal. There's such a variety of experiences that are out there to be had for food. You have anything from, chicken nuggets and fries you can get to like steak, but it's all still in a theme park. So as much as it seems like it could be like next level, you still have to keep your expectations in line a little bit, especially with the price. Because at a theme park, you're going to pay close to the steakhouse prices, but you're going to have the better food at a steakhouse still. So you do have to weigh that in your value proposition in your head of what stuff costs versus what you get. And I would say theme park pricing, where we are, blah blah blah. This is pretty good overall. Now that being said, we'll move on to the next thing. I also got the smashed potatoes. And they're good. They're a nice seasoned potato. Got a little salt, a little pepper is all it really tastes like is on there. But sometimes that's really all you need. You don't want to overdo it. And you lose the flavor of what you're actually eating. But yeah, I like those. And last but not least, we jump to the smoked mac and cheese. Everything else has a smoked flavor also, so it's kind of a sensory fatigue. You start to not be able to taste what actually tastes like smoke. I do think there's a hint of a smoke flavor to this, but not as nearly as much as like that trout dip or something like that. But there's definitely a couple different cheeses in here, and you can taste that. It's not like a lot of places that say, 5 cheeses, and you can't taste a single one of them individually. You can taste that there's a couple different things going on here. And it's very nice and creamy also. It's not dry or stringy or anything like that. It's a good cheese sauce, not just melted cheese. I'm really a fan of that mac and cheese. I like that a lot. I would definitely recommend that, especially if you're a mac and cheese fan. So here we have our dessert. This is the tableside s'mores. They lit our fire a little early, so it kind of went out. So they're gonna bring us another one. But the idea is you cook the s'mores here yourself, and they give you some just like standard store-bought marshmallows, some Reese's cups, some Hershey bars, graham crackers, and then these are like a homemade artisanal marshmallow. So the white ones are vanilla flavored, and then the brown ones are chocolate flavored. So this is pretty exciting. I love s'mores. That is one of my favorite flavor like combinations ever. So I am really psyched about this.
As you can see, this chocolate marshmallow is kind of a mess. They just turn into liquid, basically. They don't just kind of melt a little bit like the other ones do. So that's a little bit difficult. But
So what combination do you have there?
just a chocolate bar and the chocolate homemade marshmallow. That different marshmallow, it has a good chocolate flavor, but the smell of it at first was really weird. I just have this weird thing about smells, I guess.
You smell everything first.
It wasn't nice, but it tastes good, so just don't smell it first and you should be okay.
So, ooh.
Nice, dude. You freaking dropped it.
It went on the floor. Almost dropped it.
Throw it out the window.
But what I have here is I went for one of the Reese's cups. And then this is one of the vanilla fancy marshmallows. So something different from the normal grocery store campfire s'more. I don't get a whole lot of the vanilla flavor because some of the chocolate got on it, and that's all I tasted. So, I mean, you can tell it's a different type of marshmallow, but the chocolate will just instantly overpowered it. The Reese's cup is good because Reese's cups are good, but I wouldn't say it adds anything to a s'more.
Yeah.
It's like it becomes a different thing. So, good, but not really a s'more, and not really better. We are back here in the room at Cabana Bay. We just came back. We just basically left BigFire and got right back on the bus and came over here. Came up here. I think we're about done for tonight because we are still not fully recovered from the flight, and we do have the parks that we're heading to tomorrow. The plan is Universal Studios, at least the bulk of the day. Maybe we'll end up over at Islands, but since we don't come very often and Joel's never been here before, we're probably going to spend a fair amount of time over in each park. So there's probably not going to be a lot of park hopping back and forth. Now, we did want to give an overall recap of dinner at BigFire. So I'm going to let Joel start and give his take on it, and then I will give mine.
I basically think too pricey.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, you're not going to a Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, so you shouldn't really have to pay the prices for it.
Right.
I mean,
what was your favorite thing that you ate?
I don't know. I'm just an asparagus fan, so it might be weird, but that was probably my favorite. The steak, I said it was tender, but my mistake there was I took the outside rim off of the ribeye, and that's always like the softest part. Yeah. But towards the middle, it was pretty tough. So not worth $40.
Right. Yes, that was my opinion. Is pretty much the same thing. That was the killer there. I know I mentioned it a little bit while we were at the restaurant. It is a theme park restaurant, so you are expecting the price to be a little steep. But I think for what we got, this was very steep. Like Joel said, his steak was $40, $39 technically. Mine was $35, and that's just a little more than I think it was worth. Now, granted, we did get all total. We got 2 appetizers, 2 entrees, and a shareable like group dessert. So we did get a fair amount of food. However, all total after tip, that was over $150.
Yeah.
And the quality, even theme park priced, just wasn't there. Like I think that's theme park priced, like really good food even.
Yeah, it was hot.
And that was just like my steak was a lot tougher than I think it should have been. At the end there, those s'mores, like that was good. That's a fun little thing. It's nice that everybody can share it. But that was $16.
Yeah, that's just the experience.
That's just
there.
what it is. Now it was great. It's fun. It's Instagram worthy, I guess. It's got that visual appeal to it. It's all for the views. So that's cool and everything. But again, the money was just, and the service wasn't quick either.
No.
Like because of COVID, the restaurant was pretty empty. All the tables they had set up were full, but they had a lot less tables set up than they could have. But that being said, from the time we got in there till the time we left was almost 2 hours. Like, that was a really, really long dinner, a lot longer than I'm used to at a sit down restaurant like that.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of it too. Overall, the food wasn't bad at all. It was just not worth the money. And I think that's the issue with BigFire. So yeah, that's our take on dinner. Of course, we're going to be trying lots of other places. We'll see how they compare on value. But for now, we're going to sign off, call it a night. It's going on 10 o'clock, so we're going to just head to bed so we can get up in the morning, get ready, get breakfast, and be to the parks pretty much when they open. Probably not going to do early access, even though we could. We're just personally not that into the Wizarding World, all the Harry Potter stuff. So when you do early access to the parks, when Volcano Bay is not open in Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios, that's just for the Wizarding World section. And like I said, that doesn't appeal to us, so we're probably not going to make any effort to be there for that. Now, that being said, we are going to try to be there as close to regular opening as possible because of the limited capacity. We don't want to run into any issues with the park hitting capacity and not admitting anybody else in. Now, I don't think that'll be a problem because we are staying at an on-site hotel. That is one of the values, is even when the park hits their first limit, hotel guests are still allowed in. So I think we'll be okay, but better safe than sorry. We're going to get there as soon as possible. And not to mention, the park closes at 7, which is kind of early.
Oh, yeah.
So we really want to fit in as much of the different things to do that we can, since this is a unique experience for us. We don't really get to come to the parks often, or at all, really. So we definitely want to make the most of the experience. So again, that being said, we're going to sign off for tonight, and we will see you guys in the morning.